Sounds Radio I am with. I mean, let's just get it out there straight away. I've seen you in very little clothes, so it's hard to imagine you in anything but Duncan, James, Joanne, Clifton, you are both in Rocky Horror, which is currently at the Regent Theatre here in Stoke. Thank you very much for joining me. I watched you yesterday. What a show.
Were you dressed up?
I wasn't dressed up.
Why?
I know. I was saying, I was pretty much wearing pretty much this, and I felt overdressed. Never do I go anywhere feeling overdressed in my life. You come to a show like this, and gutted is the word that I left the suspenders at home. That's the way around it. Let's talk about the show, because I've seen you both in other shows, and this is a bit out there. Let's just say it is out there. What was it that drew you both to Rocky Horror?
Well, I can speak for myself. I'm not sure why Joe wanted to do it, but I did Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, was the last kind of big show that I toured. And I just loved dressing up. I loved being an Australian drag queen, and it was like the most fun thing ever. And getting to prance around on stage to some of the biggest hits like Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. You know, I mean, how much fun can that be? You dressed in, I was in a flip-flop dress with wedge shoes, big wig, and glitter lips. I mean, my life was complete. So after that, I thought, what can I do next? It's going to give me as much fun, and the next big tick on the box of the musical theatre box to play roles was Frankenfurter from Rocky. So I rang up my agent and I said, I want to be Frank. And he was like, I'll get you an audition. So I went in there and I really rehearsed, I was really prepared. I went and had my singing teacher said, right, I want you to go through the songs with me, I want to be nailing these songs. So I went in there with the attitude, I'm going to get this role because I really wanted it. And I went and got it. So I was just chuffed with myself because it's that mental determination. If you really want something, you can really go and get it. And I really wanted this role. So I was like, no one else is going to get it, it's mine.
I like that.
I didn't know anything about it.
What?
I didn't. They were, like, my agent rang and said, you've been availability checked for Rocky Horror. There's a link on the bottom, there's the audition stuff and that, and I was like, oh, okay, so I clicked on the link and had a look at it, and I saw the stage version in 2016, I think it was the last one, and I saw the audience participation and dressed up. It just looked so much fun. Went and did the audition, and I had to do the sex scene in bed.
Did you?
But there wasn't the bed, it was just a chair and just me. I had no one to act against. So it was me on the chair in front of a table of 4 people going, oh, you know, Brad, all like this, and I was like, I have to get that job.
That, I mean, in terms of auditions, that's got to have been one of the most out there for a role to go, right, you're on a check, we're going to do the sex scene. Oh, you've got an actor coming in. No, good luck. We'll just be here writing notes.
The 4 of them just sat there looking at me.
That's weird.
She's very, very good in that scene. She's very, very good.
Practicing with the chair, that's what it was, the audition on the chair. Yeah. The show, you kind of evaded to the audience participation, it's got a cult following. People in Stoke-on-Trent have that cult following with it. It used to be, it's synonymous with, we can mention it because it doesn't exist anymore, the Theatre Royal. It's synonymous with that theatre, and people of Stoke-on-Trent love this show, as was evident yesterday. People dressing up, people joining in, which is 50% of the show is a lot of people kind of joining in. When you come into a show like this, for both of you, because it's kind of one of those shows where, apart from, and it's referenced in the show, apart from panto, you don't get that much kind of back and forth. I mean, for you, you can kind of reference the audience and sometimes as a sideways glance, but Joanne, you can't, you have to be kind of like stone-faced and they don't exist. For both of you, how is it going into a show like this when sometimes somebody might say something completely left field and you go, right, I'm going to lose it. I may as well just lose it. How is it for you?
I lost it once. Well, I lost it twice, and I got told off for it by the people from the actual fan club, the Time Warp fan club.
Really?
They said that they were really glad that they got me because they were the ones who got me with the call out.
Wow.
But then I came outside and they were like, you've got to learn to not do that because Janet's not supposed to hear the audience. I was like, oh.
It's like a telling off.
Yeah.
Wow. And what about yourself, Duncan?
The director said to me, you know, you're going to get a lot of shout outs. The narrator is the only one that's allowed to react back. He said, apart from Frank is allowed to give little looks or the occasional, you know, like that, but that's it. I'm not allowed to banter with them. I'm not allowed to ad-lib back. I can, you know, give it a raised eyebrow or a little smirk, and that's as much as I'm allowed. I don't think the others are even allowed to give a smirk back. I think they have to be stony faced, but Frank can get away with it a tiny bit. But for me, the first show that I ever did with the call-outs, it's really throwing. It's really weird experience because people go to the theatre and they're very well behaved. You know, you just hear maybe the occasional crisp packet rustle or a wine gum going in, and that's it. It's very, very quiet.
You
but
hear
in
a
this
wine
show,
gum going in?
well, you know, like a rustle of a wine
Oh,
gum.
the packet. I thought
You know, like
wine
a-
gum going in.
That's the calibre of a theatre audience. When it's so quiet, you can hear somebody chewing a wine gum.
Yeah.
That's the red one. That's the red visual.
You know what I mean? You hear a little rustle or something, and that's about it. And sometimes you get people going shh in a theatre. You know, you don't get people shouting out the things they shout out in this show. I mean, there's a lot of rudeness that gets shouted out. There's a lot of
The show
words.
script itself. Obviously, you mentioned the sex scenes, and it's kind of it's very, the way it's done is very theatre. The audience make it that like 110% more smutty. You kind of go, but did I just hear? We're just going to go with it. So the first, I watched it for the first time a couple of years ago. So the first time I came, I was like, is this normal? Like I'm looking around going, have I just come on a bad night? People are drunk.
Yeah.
This is it. But it is every night. And it is one of those things where you kind of, you have to, if you regularly go to the theatre, not that it's regularly, I mean, don't shout. You kind of have to go, this is okay. We allow this to happen because it helps the show's kind of experience. Has there any, as you said, you kind of referenced something and you laughed. Has there been anything that's made you laugh and you know you shouldn't have done? So something's caught you completely off guard on
Well,
stage.
it was that.
It was that one.
And
then after
the
that,
line that Rocky says, Rocky goes, "Oh, I'm trying to hide from my creator and his minion," and up comes someone with an inflatable minion and an inflatable banana and goes, "Banana!" And the first time that happened, I lost it.
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. What about, has anything got you where you've laughed, or have you kind of?
There was a moment
so far.
during going home when I say a line, cards for sorrow, cards for pain, and somebody stood up and threw a whole deck of cards on the stage, and I just saw the whole deck just, I was just, wow.
Like a magic trick.
Wow. You know, people just, they are waiting for that moment to throw that deck of cards, and it's wow.
It is one of those shows where you go, wow, at everything that the audience do.
There is moments though, sometimes for me, when I've had an audience member shout something out that caught me off guard. It does allow your brain to come away from what you're doing for a split second. You then register what that person said, you take it back in what that person said, you have a thought about what they just said, and then you go, oh, what's my next line?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's really hard because you can corpse that way. You've got to be really, really on it. You've almost got to just block him out.
Yeah.
Last night, I'd been away for a week, so I come back in and there was a scene last night where I literally corpsed and I was like, that blind panic on stage of, what's my line? There's the Rocky Horror fan club people in tonight. They know every single line, and I'm just going to say something that's not actually scripted, just to say something in that moment. And you have that moment of going, oh no, they're going to know, and they're going to see you backstage, and go, you said that line wrong. And they do. And they come up to you afterwards and they go, oh, you got that line wrong tonight? You're like, yeah, I did. I had a moment.
The fans of this show are incredible. I mean, I saw a post from the Regent Theatre that somebody's bought a ticket for every performance that you're doing of this show. People love it. People absolutely love it. As actors, what do you love about the show?
I mean, I do love the audience participation, and I've said I think we're going to have quite a shock when we go into our next jobs, and then we haven't got the audience participation. And also, it's quite short, so we're going to be in like longer shows with no audience participation. We're going to be like, oh, what's happened?
I just want to stay playing Frank for the rest of my life. I'm just quite happy to do this forever.
It's very different for what people may know you both for. I mean, Strictly is I think it's fair to say, almost a polar opposite audience base for what you're going for Rocky.
Yeah, and
I've been in a boy band. There's also, I mean, there is similarities, some would say, but not to the point where there's a crossover. They're completely different. So seeing you both in a different light, and I know that's what acting's all about, but sometimes you kind of go, oh, this is. In that registration for it, like an audience kind of going, oh yeah, you can see it in their heads, and people who aren't the fanatics of the show, people who are regular theatre goers will go see it because they like the show and they've seen it before, and you can see that thought process of going, he's from Blue and he's wearing next to nothing. And what's going on? She was dancing on Strictly.
I was the one pro on Strictly who would ask for the dress to be longer rather than shorter. Everybody else liked them really, really short, and I was like, nah, because I was used to that. I was more of a ballroom girl, so I always wore the dresses down to my ankles and stuff. And I was a bit like, oh, just put me in a short dress, and now I'm in my naked and stuff.
There's no hiding it from the audience anymore.
Jumping on him.
Yeah. I mean, it's not all bad, is it? It's not all bad, that job.
You're not the one who has to lift her.
Wow.
No, yesterday I was sunburnt, right? I was out with no cream on, really bad. And yesterday in the bed scene, we have to do a bit where I come across, and I go across like that over the pillows, and then to the other side, and he's got that corset on with sequins. And he went, oh gosh, my sunburn, and I had to try and remember my next line. I was like, oh, like this, like how?
For the show, do you guys have any rituals before you go on stage?
Rituals? Oh, I mean, for me, I have to get the makeup on, which takes a bit of a while, and then they've got to put the wig on, the other wig as well. So, I mean, it is quite a bit of a process to get ready for the show, to get into the whole gear, you know, getting the get up. The makeup is quite a lot for Frank, you know, there's a lot to do, which I have to do myself. That was really hard at first.
How long does that take to learn? Like doing the...
They gave me one day, one show lesson, and then that was it. They were like, right, you're on your own now.
Wow.
I was like, wow. Yeah, there was a good few times of, no, my eyebrows are wrong, no, my eyebrows are wrong.
You had really big eyebrows at one point.
At one point, I think my eyebrows were too big.
Them doors opened and he came out the street and I think all of the cast just went,
eyebrows!
whoa!
I kept thinking that one's not quite straight, one's a bit smaller than the other, so I kept adding, and I was like, no, it's not right. Before I knew it, I had eyebrows like that on my head. And I was like, oh, my eyebrows are too big. And the girl came in, she was like, you've got to take your eyebrows down, they're too big.
Like two slugs.
So you got a day to learn your makeup?
Yeah, you get like a day.
What?
But, you know, it's life there. This is what happens when everybody gets taught. Everybody is in the same boat. You don't get makeup artists coming in to do you every night. You know, it's not like that in live theatre. So it's a different kettle of fish. If you're going on a TV show, obviously you have a whole team. Like Strictly, you get somebody to put you in your outfits, you get your makeup and hair done. But you know, live theatre it's very different.
With the show as well, almost everybody wears high heels. I mean, I can ask you both. I mean, you are probably a professional. Before you came into the show, you were in Priscilla. How long does it take you to kind of perfect walking? They're not like, I'm not talking small heels.
How big are your heels?
Mine aren't that big. But I've danced in heels since I was like 4. So with the boys
That's cheating.
You
You came in the show. Is this it? Is this the small heels? Get me bigger ones. But for yourself, obviously you were in Priscilla previously. But learning that, because you dance in them as well, and it's not. I can't. Well, I would say it's not easy. Like I've tried. Like I've got a pair on a Saturday. No, I can't imagine it being that easy to kind of learn the choreography in the heels.
Yeah, you put them little beige things on.
Yeah, well, I ended
Secrets are coming out.
I ended up having to sadly quit my role in Priscilla because I had spinal surgery. I had a really bad prolapse disc during the run. Was because I was wearing the heels and the different shoes. My back was under a lot of pressure every night, dancing in these wedges and huge big heels, doing Priscilla 8 shows a week. It started to really take toll after 6 months of doing the run on my back. And I was in Bristol at the time, and I woke up in the morning after doing a show, and my back was really painful, and I was having all sorts of physio every day trying to get me on stage. And I woke up and my disc had actually fallen out and landed on my sciatic nerve, and you go into something called cauda equina syndrome if it's not removed in time. Started to go into that, went all numb down my left leg, had to have emergency surgery. The numbness is still there. I'm still 3 years on, I'm still completely numb down my left leg. I still have a lot of issues with my spine. I have to wear orthotics in my shoes. I have no feeling down the left side of my foot, nothing, it's dead. So I have to be really careful. So for me, this role, even though I wanted it so badly, I had to go to a doctor medically and make sure that everything was all right. I had to have scans on my spine to make sure that there was no other problems. Obviously for insurance purposes, I can't come on this show wearing heels again and halfway through the run have emergency surgery. I needed to make sure for me that everything was good in my body and everything's healed, everything's great. The only thing is my nerve was so badly damaged from the last operation with nerves, it takes a long time for them to grow back. I mean, we're talking 20 years. So I probably won't get feeling back in my leg until I'm maybe in my 60s if I live that long. So, you know, I do worry about it, and obviously not far off. But obviously I do worry about the whole heel thing, but everything's fine.
Is that why you wear them little beige things?
No, that's just
Little slip-on
the
things.
little sock protectors.
Yeah.
To stop me getting the blisters on the thing.
Oh, I see.
That's another problem.
And I have to wear like straps.
I thought it was to protect
up.
us all from the smell.
Strap up this left leg because I have weakness in it, so I have to. And like I said, I have to pick you up every night.
No pressure now. You're going to be in the back of your mind just before you go for being picked up. You go, oh my god, he's leg. Oh no. Yeah. It's just another thing to worry about.
She's very light, and I'm not very strong. So.
For the people who are watching online and listening, because this is going to go out on air as well, which is very confusing when you're doing it. Why should people come and watch you guys and in Rocky Horror?
Because you get to see Joanne Clifton naked, pretty much.
I'm naked.
Right in a bra and pants.
Get to see you in your pants and your corset.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
That's
There's a lot of nakedness in this show.
So was the last image I saw before I went to sleep last night.
Oh.
I was like, I'm interviewing Joanne and Duncan tomorrow. No. Duncan Jane. Oh, sorry, of course. Oh, good night. That was pretty much the thought process.
Yeah.
But
There is
it's
not a
never
lot.
It's never a bad thing.
There's not a lot that lead to the imagination in this show. I mean, literally you see it all. And
Not
the bed, well,
Pretty much all.
the bed scene is pretty graphic. It's
Yeah.
quite naughty. Between me and Joe added some extra stuff in it to make it a little bit extra naughtier, which is quite fun.
His idea, not mine. I'm very prim proper.
Her dad was very angry actually. He was like, "Oh, you're a bit naughty in bed with
your mum.
with my girl."
We have to adjust the bed scene
When my mum comes in, I have to
Really?
take things out, because she finds it all too much.
I mean, if that doesn't sell it, nothing ever will. And they have to change the bed scene when their parents come watch.
Yeah.
Rocky Horror is at the Regent Theatre until Saturday, the 8th of June. Get your tickets from atgtickets.com/Stoke. Duncan,
Thank you.
very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.